I'm Holly Madison, and I listen to Brian Shapiro.
Hi, this is William Shatner, and I listen to Brian Shapiro.
All right, welcome back. It is the Vegas Take, Sharp and Shapiro. So glad you could join us. You know, this is the beauty of the Vegas Take, the beauty of this show. You never know who's going to come in studio, right? You never know. We had Tom Green in here. We had George Wallace in here. We had Michael Avenatti, as some people call him. I would never call him this, but Tucker Carlson called him the creepy porn lawyer. He was in studio yesterday and had a good time with him. You never know who's going to join us. Well, the beautiful young lady we have in studio right now, she is in the adult entertainment business. She has been an adult film actress for a very... JD, why are you smiling? You have this weird smirk on your face. I don't know.
He's sitting next
really,
to me.
That would be the voice of Richelle Ryan, adult film star, joining us in studio. Richelle, thank you so much for being here. How are you?
Thank you for having me. I'm doing amazing.
I have a lot of questions to get to
I
with you.
bet you do. Fire away.
Let's
I'm
start.
ready.
Let's start with the guest we had in studio yesterday, Michael Avenatti, who obviously represented Stormy Daniels. Do you know Stormy?
I do. She shot me for one of her movies for Wicked, The Madam.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
So have you ever had a private conversation with her about Donald Trump?
No.
Do you believe her when she says she had sex with Donald Trump?
She said that?
Yes, she did.
Oh, she did. Okay. I believe her.
Unprotected as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
That's
Why
what
would she lie about that?
That's what Michael Avenatti claims. Yes. No, but okay. For someone like you, and how long have you been in this business? You've been in this business a long time.
Almost 13 years.
That's a long time,
That's
right?
a
You
long
started out on your
time.
21st birthday, right?
I did.
So for somebody that is, I guess, paid your dues, right? You've been doing this for a while.
Yeah.
When you see somebody like Stormy, and she's been in the business a while too, but when the story breaks, right, and she says she's had sex with the president, and immediately her fame quadruples, does that make somebody like you jealous at all?
No, not at all.
Because I've talked to some adult film stars, and they do say they resent her a little bit for making it public and for trying to, you know, get a big payday and that sort of. So that doesn't bother you at all.
Not at all.
Interesting.
I mean, I feel that all of us girls, we could say something that would make us blow up. But, you know,
Right.
that's not really my market and how I want, you know, I don't want that kind of attention in the fans.
Fair enough. No, fair enough. Okay, so you started off as an exotic dancer,
I
right?
did.
That's how you started your career. And then you made the transition to, I got to be careful when I say that, making the transition. You have to be politically correct.
Yes, you do.
Yes, that's not the type of transition I'm
Be
talking
careful,
about.
Brian.
Yeah, but so you shoot your first scene in an adult film on your 21st birthday.
I did.
So explain this to me. Two-part question. Number one, what made you decide to get into the business? And number two, what was that first conversation like with your family when you told them, hey, this is what I want to do?
I wanted to get into the industry because I wanted to get paid to have sex with hot men. I mean,
That's understandable. Most
Right?
women wouldn't mind
I
that.
feel
yeah.
it's the same
It's
for
straightforward to the point.
right? I feel it's the same for the majority of men why they want to get into the business.
But when there are cameras involved, you know, the most people, I don't think this is a stretch, when they're intimate with another person, they don't want other people in the room. They certainly don't want to be shot on camera where millions
I like
of people
it.
are.
I like people watching. I mean,
Were you always like that?
Yeah, when I first got in the business in 2006, I mean, it was big crews and feature films. I mean,
And that's not weird to you?
No, it's actually weird now because now it's more of like a closed set where there's maybe 3 people on set. There's the camera guy, sound guy, and
Right.
maybe the makeup girl. Versus back in the day when I first got in, there was a crew of 30 people. There was craft services. There was makeup artists. I mean, I kind of like it. You know, now it's kind of like, oh, pressure's on. There's like 3 people in the room.
Because when I'm with a woman, I just want to turn the lights off. You know, I just turn it off. You know, but you're the
It's
opposite.
okay. I like the lights off when I'm at home too.
But how are you able to separate what you do for a living with a personal physical relationship? I mean, how do you separate the two?
Oh, it's super easy to separate it. You know, when you're at home, you're with the person that you love, and that's a very, very special thing. I can turn it off super easy. When I'm on set, it's whatever, let's go.
When JD's on set, he feels the same way. Yeah, he can turn it off as well.
Yes, we have a few things in common. I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
I'm going to touch on Trump again. Do you think that since this whole scandal broke through with Stormy Daniels and Donald Trump, that it actually helped the porn industry from an exposure standpoint?
I wouldn't necessarily say that it helped us. I feel like, I mean, we're always getting attacked. People are always looking at us. They think we're horrible people, that we don't pay taxes, we're lazy and all this stuff. And shined a little bit of a negative light on us a little bit, but Stormy's really vocal. I mean, she just comes out and she's like, hey, this is what I do for a living. And, she's carrying the torch. So good for her.
Have you ever had a situation in your 13-year career where you had a well-known famous celebrity come up to you and want to spend a night with you and offer you money? Or has that ever happened to you where you had somebody famous or popular that wanted to spend the night with you because of admiring your films?
Yes.
Come on, you got to give us a name.
I'm not giving a name.
Was it Brad Pitt?
No.
Tom Cruise? No.
I wish.
Does Tom Cruise like women, do you think? I don't know.
I don't know.
Right.
He's like a Scientologist. He's a little odd.
Okay, one guess.
I'm back
if
and
I get it
forth on that
right,
one.
here's the deal.
You're not going to guess right.
Jeremy Piven.
I don't even know.
He's
who
hit
that
on
is.
every. Okay, fine.
I thought you'd actually be close there.
How many times? No, but seriously though, without giving, how many times has that happened to you?
I feel like it happens to all of us girls. A lot of athletes and actors and musicians, they know that we're safe. We're not going to run our mouths. Well, majority of us aren't. We want privacy too. I mean, obviously, we all have personal lives and stuff that we're trying to protect as well. And I think, somebody kind of, an athlete and musician, somebody, they understand that versus girls that are kind of like, the Instagram models and stuff. They're looking for somebody like Donald Trump who's going to want to, meet up with them for relations.
I wanted to ask you, what is
That's a good word, relations.
Because I would imagine, and I'm not even talking about celebrities now, I'm just saying in general, I would imagine you get a lot of your fans that say, what do I have to do to spend a night with you?
Oh,
What's the weirdest situation that, a fan came up to you? What was the weirdest situation you've ever been into in 13 years with like a fan that came up to you?
Oh, God. There's so many of them.
Give me a crazy story.
Probably the weirdest one was I was at a football game. I'm a huge New York Giants fan.
I wanted to talk to you about that. Yeah.
I was actually at a New York Giants and Buffalo Bills game in Buffalo. Now, mind you, there's 60,000 people leaving that stadium, and I was with my parents and my sister. So we're walking out. We were parked in like one of the fields, and these two guys. Now, I know I shoot a lot of MILF movies and stuff, but problem with these young guys, they like to follow me and they think.
Wait, can I just stop you for 1 second? I know there's there's some older people that listen. If you don't know what MILF means, you can Google it. Okay, if
you can Google it.
I see like an 85-year-old man now in front of his computer. I thought they were talking about Donald Trump.
I'm going
to say PC. It's mother I'd like to have relations with.
Okay,
with.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's Stifler's mom. Think of that.
I'm just thinking of like an 85-year-old conservative that's listening right now.
Like, what is a MILF?
What's a MILF? What's that? They're supposed to be
Something.
talking about the presidential debates.
That's
What's going on?
Very, very interesting acronym.
Yeah. Anyway, I apologize. Go ahead.
It's okay. But so I had these two young guys. They followed me all the way back to where my parents' car was parked, like in one of the the off-site parkings, and they were like, "Can go right up to my dad's window," and they're like, "Can we get a picture with Richelle Ryan?" And my dad just kind of like shakes his head, because he obviously knows what I do, and he was just like, I'm not going to say what my dad said to the kid, but
Yeah,
but it's kind of creepy knowing.
Was your father armed?
Oh no, not going to a game.
but that's bizarre. But what was that first conversation like with your dad when you told your dad you wanted to have sex on camera for a living? This is daddy's little girl. How does that conversation go?
I think my parents, I was always kind of a wild child. I was very loud and outspoken. I was kind of like the bad kid. My sister was the one that went off to school and got the corporate job and all that. So I don't know. They were a little disappointed, but then when my parents came out to Vegas and they saw the house I bought and, I do smart things with my money, they were kind of like, oh, okay, we're not too upset with you.
They can see that you
your
are
thing.
successful. Yeah. So when you hear a lot of people that make assumptions about porn stars, right?
Yes.
And
all the
one of
time.
the assumptions that I hear, and I'm sure you've heard this as well, that
I'm sure.
many of these strippers, porn stars, they were abused when they were younger. They had horrible childhoods. Maybe it was sexual abuse. Maybe it was this. Maybe it was that. So when somebody makes that assumption about you, how do you respond to something like that?
I mean, it depends where they say that. I try not to feed into so much of it because social media and you're getting people that just want a reaction out of me, and I don't even want to give them that. So I just kind of let it just roll off. I'm not even going to bother with them. Sometimes if I just ignore them, it just pisses them off even more.
That's probably the best way to handle that. Well,
Yeah.
are there people in the business that you refuse to work with?
Yes.
Care to name them?
No, I'm not naming them.
Oh, come on.
No.
Come on.
No.
Would you work
I'm
with?
very selective.
Would you work with me or JD? Who would you rather work with?
Him.
See, because I don't have any hair. That's why.
He's
I don't have
a
any
little
hair.
cutie, this kid. Who's
Oh,
this kid?
oh yeah, it's one of our camera guys.
Oh,
yeah.
he's adorable.
Yeah. Really?
He looks so young. and
He's
so cute.
he's actually 12 years old. You still want to go out with him?
Oh, gosh.
Oh,
no.
okay. All right.
Gosh, no, he's
He
not.
just entered 7th grade.
He's adorable.
So we
I
have
like
s-
20-year-olds.
We have. How old are you, by the way?
33.
Can you share that with us?
Yeah,
33. Because
getting
it's
ready to turn
rude to ask a
34 in
woman.
a couple of weeks.
It's rude to ask a woman how old
It
she
doesn't
is.
bother me. It's public information.
Well, you've been doing this for 13 years, and you started when you were 21, so it's not too hard
Right.
too hard to.
33 is a very good age.
So, do you make like because like somebody like Stormy Daniels, right? She'll make thousands of dollars, especially now, making appearances, going to strip clubs.
I do that every weekend almost.
So again, if you don't want to, it's fine. But I'm just curious, how much money would somebody like Richelle Ryan make for doing an appearance and dancing on stage for 10 minutes? Maybe he's taking some pictures, signing some autographs. What do you make for a gig like that?
I don't even tell my CPA how much I make, so I'm
All
not
right.
telling you.
I'm gonna guess several $1,000s, but I could be wrong on that.
I make a good living. I'm living good, living and eating
Have you
good.
have you made $1 million in 13 years?
I'm not answering that. If I don't even tell my CPA this, I can't
Hold on.
tell you.
He's a professional sports handicapper, so let's handicap it. I'm going to say the over-under on how much money Richelle Ryan has made in 13 years is at minimum $500,000.
Including club appearances?
No.
I would say
Yeah.
collectively at least $3 to $5 million.
That much?
That's what I would say.
Oh, wow, it's unbelievable. JD's right. See, that's why he's a professional handicapper. You see, he knows what he's talking about. He's a smart guy. Yeah, see, now you'll go out with him because he's smart. Good. I'm not, obviously. Obviously, I'm not. Okay, if you're just joining us, Richelle Ryan, adult film star, been in the business 13 years. And I know she is a big she's a big Giants fan. By the way, my condolences to you because the Giants have sucked for a long
terrible.
time. Eli Manning is the worst. How did that guy win
Lord.
Super Bowls?
Oh,
How did he win Super Bowls?
We're going to thank God we're across the table from each other. We're going to start fighting.
No, but I mean, come on. They've had some issues. You can
Yeah,
admit
but
that.
you can't just put it all on Eli, though.
I didn't say it was all on you. They've had some horrible coaches, in my opinion.
Yes, absolutely.
Some ownership. They've made a lot of bad
They had
decisions.
some really bad draft picks.
Yes.
Like
Oh,
Eric
yeah.
Flowers, the left tackle.
Oh gosh, he's a dumpster fire.
Jonathan Hankins, the D tackle. They've done some pretty. Now I just took Saquon Barkley 80-1 to win the NFL MVP. What do you
Oh,
think?
wow.
What do you think about that?
I mean, that's pretty good. I like that. Now I kind of want to go take that.
Do you bet on football games?
A little bit
Because you live here, right? So
I do. Yeah.
How long have you lived in Vegas for?
4.5 years.
You like it here?
I love it here.
Isn't it awesome?
It's
This is
the
a
most
fun place to live,
amazing
isn't
city
it?
to live.
I'm never going to leave this
I'm
place.
never going to leave Vegas ever. I love it here.
So don't you wish? Because I asked, we've had plenty of other adult film stars in the studio, and who do we have? We had Evan Stone in a few weeks ago, right? And I asked him this question. I said, why is it that this industry can't move to Las Vegas? It seems like Vegas would be more friendly to you guys than L.A.,
It is.
right? I mean, why can't we make that happen? Maybe some people don't want that.
So
but-
many of the companies just have their roots in LA. They have their warehouses and everything. And, a lot of their directors, they don't want to make the move. They have families and everything going on. I mean, trust me, I wish everybody would move to Vegas.
I think heat has a lot to do with it too.
You think so?
Heat and set up studios already.
It's pretty
out
hot in
there.
L.A., too.
And you're talking about Van Nuys.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, we've heard rumors that the movie industry, some of them will move out here. We've heard that. I don't think that's going to happen
There's
anytime
a
soon.
few of the heavy hitters that are out here, and I love it. It's great. I'm shooting tomorrow out here. It's fantastic.
Oh, so you're shooting a film tomorrow here.
I am.
So they do shoot some films here, though.
Oh, yeah. Literally, some of the big companies are out here, but the majority of them are in LA.
So explain to me how this works. Weeks, months in advance who you're having a sex scene with? Do they tell you way in advance? Have you ever had a situation where you didn't know who you're going to work with when you showed up?
No, because I'm pretty picky. So I always know who I'm going to work with in advance.
So you would never work with a bald 39-year-old white guy who works in radio. That's not being picky, by the way. You could just say no to that, but who would want that? But so you in your contract, you know who you're working with.
Right, exactly. I shoot about 5 times out of the month, which is still really good for somebody who's been in 13 years. And I'm pretty vanilla compared to some of the girls, but 5 times out of the month, I'm still feeding the internet, and I want to give my fans the best scene possible. So I don't want to work with brand new guys that, I don't know.
When you
might
say
be nervous.
without
Inexperience.
Yes,
So-
very
so
inexperienced. I don't want to have relationship with inexperienced.
How
Right.
long does the average shoot last typically?
I mean, it all kind of depends. By the time, us girls, we always have to get there super early.
be about 30 seconds if I was on the shoot. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I knew you were going to say that.
It all depends. You guys are probably talking about the hardcore, like the fun action.
Yeah.
Some companies will shoot about an hour of footage, and that's from the corny pickup that everybody always skips over in the movies, and all the way till the end. Some companies will, they just want 25, 30 minutes.
Is it a pain in the ass that you actually do have to read lines and memorize lines? Like there is some acting involved. Is that a pain in the ass for you?
No, I like it.
You really do like that?
Yeah, I love it. It's fun.
Because some some stars say that they just wish they would just go right to it, and they wish there were no words involved at all.
I mean, yes and no. I've gotten really good at it. Like maybe about a couple of months ago, I was shooting for one of the big companies out here in Vegas, and they kind of just threw an 8-page script at me, and it was a doctor setup, and it just had all these crazy medical
Was Scorsese the director of that? Or
I
no?
wish.
Okay.
And they were like, "All right, here you go," and they wanted it like all 8 pages through, and I'm just like, gosh, all right, like give me like 20 minutes in the back to like read this a few times.
So because
I nailed it.
of what you do for a living, can you tell me maybe some people that you've met in your life that maybe you would have never been able to just meet, say hello, take a picture with, get to know if you weren't in this industry? Like maybe somebody famous that you've always looked up to that you had a chance to meet.
I wouldn't say there's too many people that I really look up to, but Dennis Hoff, he actually brought me to the American Music Awards, and that was really cool because I love music, and I got to meet a ton. I got to meet Fergie and Snoop Dogg, and Jimmy Fallon was there, and Jimmy Fallon's sister, and that was really a lot of fun.
So how did you meet Dennis?
I forgot. Oh, through Ron Jeremy.
Oh, so you're friends
him
with
and-
Ron Jeremy?
Yeah. Everybody's friends with Ron Jeremy, but him and Ronnie were really close.
That guy's got some miles on him, Ron Jeremy.
Yeah,
How's he doing?
does.
How's he doing these days?
I think he's doing great. Like he's still running around his crops.
Heidi
living
Fleiss,
life.
right? They're just hanging out, having fun, and all that stuff. Yeah,
Yep.
it is very, and I've interviewed Dennis plenty of times. He's always been great. And
Dennis was a fantastic man.
And I knew he was going to win the election out there. And I spoke to one of his people, and I was ready to interview him. The day after he won, and when I
dead
heard
Republican beat a Democrat.
yeah, it's
funny?
well, I'm not surprised because he was such a character, smart guy.
Yeah.
People don't give him enough credit. Very, very smart, business savvy guy.
Absolutely.
He treated the women very fair. You never heard of anything where he, did something horrible to one of his employees. You never heard that about the guy. What I don't understand about that whole situation is why I guess they're not open now, right? I guess he was the only person that was legally allowed to run those brothels, and now, from what I've heard, they're not open.
I thought they were open.
Oh, really?
But I could be mistaken.
Maybe
I
I'm
don't know.
wrong. That's
Maybe we should Google it during the break.
That's cool, though. So you got a chance to. Did you date him, or you guys were just friends?
No, we were just really good friends.
Did he ever ask you to work at one of his places?
No, he told me he wouldn't let me.
Really? Why did he? What was his reasoning for that?
I don't know. I really honestly don't know. I never questioned him. He was just like, no. And I was like, okay. Maybe
Well, here's a question I want to ask. Will you stick around for a few more minutes?
Of course.
Thank you, because the question I want to ask you to come back. If a man went up to you and offered an extremely large amount of money to spend one night with you, would you? Don't answer it now. We'll answer it when you come back. Number one, would you say yes? Number two, what would that price tag be? I want to know. I'll ask you that, and I want to talk a little more sports with you when we get back as well.
Okay.
We're joined by Richelle Ryan, adult film star. She's been around for 13 years. She calls Vegas her home, right? She's been here. She's a Vegas local. I like that. And we'll get to her when we come back. And also, we'll take your phone calls if you want to give us a buzz. The number to call if you want to ask Richelle a question that maybe I haven't already answered, I haven't offended her by. You can do that. 702-257-5396 is the number to call. Again, 702-257-5396. If you would like to be a part of the program, give us a call in studio. Richelle Ryan, adult film star. We will get to that, and we will get to much more. Also, I do want to get to her a little bit about how she trains 5 times a week. I don't think I've ever trained in my life. I just play tennis and take walks down the street. That's all I do. We'll talk about that when we come back with Richelle Ryan. You're listening to The Vegas Take on the all-new 101.5 FM, 720 AM KDWN. We're in the studio with Richelle Ryan, adult film star. She's been in the business for 13 years, and if you'd like to ask her a question and not compliment me, you could call up at 257-5396. Okay, so the reason why we were talking a little bit off the air, Richelle, the reason why I got into radio, one of the main reasons was I love Howard Stern. I've always loved the guy. I love the way he interviews people. And, what can I say? I have a huge poster of him on my wall still.
Howard's the man.
Yeah. So I asked you, have you ever gone on the show? And you were on his show last year, right?
I was last August.
So
I won Best Booty.
Best Booty. So how does that phone call come about? And obviously they know who you are, so somebody from the Howard Stern crew calls your agent. How does that work?
They contacted my publicist, and it was for JD's bachelor party. So
wait, JD's bachelor? Oh, no, not that JD. Okay. You're talking JD from the Howard Stern show, the geeky dude from the Howard Stern show who can't get laid, right? I know exactly who you're talking about. All right, go ahead. Yes.
So there was 4 of us girls, and we all got to give him a lap dance, and then JD got to pick whose booty he liked the most, and he picked
We should do that for our JD.
Right?
Yeah, we should do that.
Totally.
Why can't somebody do that for me, actually?
Let me arrange it.
So you take the call. So your publicist tells you, hey, you're going on the Howard Stern show, which I think it's fair to say the biggest radio star on the planet. I mean,
absolutely.
You could put a couple other names in there that I won't mention because they're competitors of ours. But Howard is
he's number one. He's the man.
And what he's done for the adult film industry. Because he's done such a great job promoting it, So are you nervous?
I was terrified. Like when they had all of us girls in the wait. I mean, all of us were nervous. I mean, we're all in the back switching our hands and everything. But then once I got out there, they brought us all out individually. We got to talk to Howard and JD and give the lap dance. It was like nothing. I was role playing with Howard Stern. All the other girls, I mean, I'm tooting my horn here a little bit, but they were super nervous. And I was role playing with Howard.
So you were flirting with Howard.
Oh, yeah.
Did you get a chance to talk to anybody off the air or not really?
I mean, he had like his crew and stuff like that, They were in our green room and stuff like that, but not really like in-depth conversation or anything.
So you
that.
win. What did you win for the best booty contest?
I won $500 and a sash.
I hate to say that, but that's kind of cheap.
$500?
Yeah, you got to get. Come on, it's the Howard Stern show.
I don't even care. I didn't even care about the money. I was just
I know
whatever.
a woman that I'm still friendly with. I was more friends with her, but anyway, she used to date Tiger Woods. So they had on the Howard Stern show, they had the Tiger Woods Best Mistress contest. These were 3. They picked 3 very attractive women that dated Tiger Woods, and it's been proven, right? So she won the contest. They asked her all questions. She won $75,000. That's a lot more than fun. She won $75,000.
Oh, I'm calling Howard tomorrow. I got gypped.
Well, here's the first thing she did. She's made some mistakes. I won't say her name. She got liposuction, which I don't believe she needed. She got a boob job, which again I don't think she needed. And she spent the rest of the money on some other things that I won't talk about. But but she made a lot of mistakes.
Put that down on my house.
So you've said, and you seem to be smart with money, right? You've talked about that. You own a nice house, and you've been very, very, very smart and responsible with your money.
Yes.
So if you won, let's just say hypothetically $75,000 on that show, what would you do with it?
Gosh, there's a million things I would do. Maybe put half of it down the principal of my house, and then I don't know.
The best answer would be give it all to JD and let him bet sports for you because you'll win money. That's what you should do.
No, I don't trust it. I'm Italian, so I only gamble when I'm not afraid to lose.
Tell me you love The Sopranos because that's one of my favorite shows of all time.
Of course.
Yeah, that's absolutely one of my favorite shows. Okay, so I never asked you this. So you do scenes with men. Do you do scenes with women as well?
I do, but I love men more.
You like men more than... See, that,
I do.
You know, it's interesting because... You talk to many women out there, and they can appreciate another woman. Oh, she's beautiful, or she's got a great body, whatever. Women are very, for the most part, in general, they're usually pretty respectful. You don't hear men talk like that, right? Like if I see a guy walking down the street and I'm on a date, and she's like, oh yeah, that guy's good looking, don't you think? And no, I don't think he's good looking. No, look, I mean, I could sit here.
Well, you could probably appreciate another man like, oh wow, he's got a great body, he works out.
No, I don't really.
Oh, you don't?
No.
Oh, okay.
JD, have you ever, help me out here? Have you ever said that about another man? Wow, he's got a great body.
No. I'm not.
No, I look, I'll say this. I can understand why women like somebody like, I don't know, Brad Pitt. I can understand why some women like somebody over the years like Sylvester Stallone or, whatever. I can understand that. But
what about Gronkowski? I love him.
Rob Gronkowski. I can see why women.
Dream.
I could see. Yeah, he's mine too. I can see why women would like a guy like that because he seems funny. Seems like he's got a fun personality. He's obviously a phenomenal athlete. He's in great shape. But I'm not going to sit here and say, wow, that guy Rob Gronkowski, JD, you have to admit, he's got a great body. Like, I don't, men don't talk like that. I mean, men that are straight don't talk like that. Not that there's anything wrong with not being straight, but a straight man usually doesn't talk like that. Is that unfortunate in our society?
You can appreciate someone for being committed to working out and committed to being an athlete.
But that's
and
different.
Being passionate about their craft. But you don't say, hey, yeah, that guy's got.
Oh, my God, look at the pecs on that guy. You know? I mean, it's just, who's that from the show Entourage? You ever watch the show Entourage?
No.
There's an episode in that show.
Oh, Johnny Drama?
That's exactly what I'm talking about, where he obsesses over a man's calves.
Oh,
and
gosh.
he goes up to a guy and he says, "Are those fake calves, bro?" And it's really funny, though, because guys don't talk like
Right.
that. Guys don't talk like that, but women do.
But Johnny Drama is one of the best characters in modern.
Oh, that's a great show. There's no question. That is a great show.
He's outstanding.
Yes.
And Lamar Odom was actually in that episode.
He was.
really?
He was. That is a
I
fantastic
watch
show.
Shark Tank and ESPN. Like, that's about it.
I read that about you. So you train 5 days a week.
I do. You didn't see my abs when I walked in?
I do.
That's why I wore my crop top.
I saw a lot of things when you walked in, including your abs. No, but seriously, like 5 days a week, that's dedicated, man. Have you been doing that for a long time?
Yes. And, obviously I'm naked on camera. So if I get fat and ugly and wrinkly and whatever else, I don't have a job.
That's true.
I have to stay in shape. I actually just built a home gym. So it's incredible.
Do you give other people advice, like training and all that sort
No.
of stuff? So you're not that kind of person that
No,
would
definitely not.
that would help other people. So one of your favorite movies, I noticed, is Casino.
Yes.
Casino is one of my favorite movies
Love
as
Casino.
well. I love that movie. You also like A Bronx Tale. I read that about you.
That's like a close second.
Colosuro?
Yeah, that kid's had some trouble. He was in jail for a while.
Yeah, I saw that.
Chaz Palminteri, I met
is
him.
he still alive?
I want to
He
meet
is?
him. He's always run around Vegas.
Chaz is a really nice, approachable guy.
Oh, really?
I mean, I remember I saw him at a UNLV basketball game, and we were talking for a few
Really?
minutes. Yeah, he was here doing a show, and
Nice.
I asked him about his co-star. I forgot his name in real life. What's that kid's name? The one in the Bronx Tale that went to jail. Anyway, I forgot his name.
Oh, I couldn't even
But
think of his real
I
name.
asked him, and he said he knew that kid was high on the set of that movie of Bronx Tale. He knew he was on
that's
drugs.
A shame.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
He was like 13 in that movie.
He
was
no,
really
he was
young.
not. He was not 13. He was older than that.
He was?
Yeah, he wasn't 13. But he
See?
knew that he was on some pretty bad stuff. That's a great
that's
movie
a
though.
shame. Yeah, it's my favorite.
Okay, so what
I'm
do
gonna
you
name my kid? If I ever have a boy, I'm gonna name him Ace.
Ace? I like
Ace.
that. So there's been a few movies, Showgirls, which was filmed here in Vegas, and Striptease with Demi Moore.
Oh, yeah.
Do you like any of those movies? Like a movie like about a stripper or about a showgirl? Like, do you like any of that stuff or no?
Yeah, but I haven't seen those.
Why has there been never a movie besides Boogie Nights is the closest one I could remember, and the late Burt Reynolds? That was a great movie. There's not really a lot of like real movies about the life of, say, I don't know, I'll throw out a name, Jenna Jameson. Why is it that there's been no real life, the life of, Ron Jeremy or Jenna Jameson? Why do you think that is?
Maybe because Netflix has taken over.
You think that's why? I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe they just can't hold people's attention with just a life story about Ron Jeremy. Nobody really cares. And, a lot of them have their own books, and they're always doing radio and promoting. And
Okay, let's talk about Ron Jeremy for a second.
Okay, let's talk about Ron
You look
Jeremy.
at many women like yourself that are in the adult entertainment business. Many of them, like yourself, extremely attractive. You stay fit. Not to diss on your friend Ron Jeremy, okay, but let's just call it what it is. Ron Jeremy is not exactly a Brad Pitt.
He's the hedgehog.
Yeah, but he's right. But he looks like a hunchback. He's not a. I don't think this is a stretch here. Ron Jeremy is not, in my opinion, and I'm going by his looks now. I usually don't do this. I wouldn't say Ron Jeremy is a good-looking guy. I don't think that is a stretch.
He's not.
So how is it that a guy like Ron Jeremy, number one, gets into the business, and number two, makes all this money, and is so successful? How is that? Because I don't think
it's because of his look. I mean,
But he looks like a panhandler.
But that's why. That's why. I mean, it's and that's and also too. I mean, I don't know if you've seen his movies, but
no, I haven't.
the man is.
I try not to.
Packing a punch.
He is.
Packing a punch.
He's well endowed. He's well endowed. Yes, you can say that.
So I mean,
Yes.
between that and his look and just kind of the way he carries himself.
That's what I've heard about our producer Ken too. I've heard that rumor that he's well endowed as well. I'm sorry, Ken. Yeah. Anyway, I had to get him
I
involved
think it's
in this.
because he started in the 70s, and so his look matched that period, and then he's just kind of people have stuck to it, and that's why he's been successful for 20 or 30 or
but
years.
you guys understand what I'm saying, though.
Absolutely.
He's not exactly what I would call a model-looking dude.
Absolutely not.
He's short. He's stocky. He looks kind of gross. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be mean.
He has no problem with his look. He's very, very confident in his own skin.
Extremely. He goes to the award shows in his Crocs and his sweatpants.
His mustache, yes.
Yep,
all
doesn't
that.
care.
All that
mustache,
stuff.
afro, Crocs, all of it.
Have you ever done a scene with him?
No.
You have. Would you?
No.
Why?
No.
Why? Tell me why.
Because I could not get turned on by that. All the money in the world.
Oh, you're making my point for me then. Yeah.
Oh,
so how do these other women get turned on by that?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
All right. So give some of the listeners out there, some of the 85-year-old conservative listeners, I want you to give them some advice.
Oh, my gosh.
I'm sorry. I'm being mean. But no, seriously. Give some of the listeners out there some advice, clean advice on, if they're intimidated by maybe asking an attractive woman like yourself out on a date.
If they're 85, they should be done.
Well, yeah. I'm making a joke, obviously. But seriously.
Maybe like 50?
What if a man goes up to you and he's semi-attractive, unlike Ron Jeremy, he's semi-attractive. What does he need to say or what does he need to do to you for you to say, you know what, I'm going to give this guy a chance. I'm going to give him my number. What does he need to do to make it work? Give some of the listeners and myself some advice here.
Oh, gosh. I'm probably the worst one to give dating advice.
I mean, I'm not talking about like a pickup line, but like, has any guy ever just, I don't want to say pick you up.
No,
but,
he wants a how to date a porn star tutorial.
that's
Long-term relationship.
No,
6 months minimum.
No, but seriously, I'm talking about in your personal life. I would imagine you have men come up to you on a regular basis.
Yes.
I mean, what sweeps you off your feet? That's what I want to know.
I can usually tell if a guy recognizes me and knows who I am.
Mm-hmm.
Always. Recently, I was at Whole Foods, and I had this guy, and I was juggling like 2 big grocery bags, and he was like, can I help you carry your groceries to your car? And like, he wasn't like creepy or anything like that. Definitely wouldn't be a guy that I would go on a date with or anything, but I was just kind of like, wow, chivalry is not dead. There's still...
And you don't think he recognized you?
No, not at all.
And he just wanted to help
I like
you.
to think that like when I'm out and about, I look homeless. Like I try to disguise myself. I wear a hat, I wear sunglasses, like, gym clothes, whatever. But
What's the weirdest place that a guy hit on you? Like the weirdest spot?
oh God, there's been so many weird ones.
Besides a radio station. Where else? Because I would imagine it probably happens almost everywhere, right?
Yeah. Oh gosh.
Like what place is safe? You go to work out, guys are,
Oh,
that's
the
what they
gym,
do.
especially the gyms around here. LVAC dudes go there and just cruise. that is like the cruising zone. I don't know, probably just when I'm out and about and I just see dudes like with their girl or something, or if they go with their girl in a strip club and, they just try talking to me and I'm like, I am not interested. You have your lady there, or if they're married.
Have you ever been like pumping gas or something like at a gas station?
Oh, I mean, that's a given. That happens to any chick.
So what? So like, what's the typical thing that somebody?
Probably the weirdest one was like I was at my plastic surgeon's office,
Mm-hmm.
probably getting Botox or something, and there was a dude in there, obviously waiting on his chick, and just starts like hitting on me, and I just kind of like what I do is I just look at people like they're crazy. I'm like, ugh.
I can tell you've been looking like that to me. You've been looking at me like that for the last
When
hour.
you started on Eli Manning, I gave you that look.
But okay, do you think Eli Manning is attractive?
No,
Okay, he's not, right?
No. He's a very handsome man.
Women tell me
but he's not my type.
Tom Brady's. A lot of women like Tom Brady.
No, I don't like Tom Brady.
Okay, so what football players do you find? I'm curious about.
Okay,
this
I like Gronkowski. He is my number one. He is just
Have
big.
you ever met him before?
Yes, I have a great story. So
Give me your Rob Gronkowski story.
I met Gronk at the 2012 ESPYs, I believe it was, and the ESPYs are always
How'd you
around.
get into that?
I have a.
You
I
got
have a
connections.
friend. I do.
You got connections.
I do. So I was at the after party, and there was Gronkowski and like 3 of the rookie like wide receivers. And the ESPYs are always around my birthday. So one of my girlfriends, they were like not really into sports, but they like run up to Gronk like, it's her birthday today, and he just crowds like around me, and he's so big, and I was just loving him. And I don't know if I can say on air what he said.
Rob
to me.
Gronkowski's got a great body, by the way.
Oh, he's-
Unbelievable body.
yeah.
Yes, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But,
I don't think I've ever said that in my life about a man. By the way, go ahead.
So he kind of like he was like towering above me, and
Yeah.
I can't say.
He picked you up.
No, I wish.
Oh.
But no, he was like made a comment about my appearance, and I was kind of like, thanks. And then so I had all the Patriots around me singing me happy birthday. That was awesome.
And how do you get into that after party? You saying you know somebody?
Know somebody that got me a award show ticket and into the after party. And I was the only one out of all of my girlfriends who could really appreciate it. I mean, going to the ESPYs is huge, let alone, I mean, I love athletes.
So
I got to meet Brittany Griner. She was awesome.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, she's
a big
rad.
girl. She's tall.
Oh, she's huge.
She's very, very tall. Very good basketball player.
Yeah.
Okay, so listen, that was your moment, right? You had a chance to meet. Why did you not? What? You didn't have a conversation with him after that? You didn't try talking to him?
A little bit, maybe.
Did you make out with him or anything like that? Or no?
I wish. Now you're getting me excited over here.
I didn't. That'd be the first time.
I didn't shoot my shot. I should have.
Well, he was dating Jesse James for a while.
No, it was some other girl in the adult.
No, but you understand.
He was definitely dating.
You understand
somebody
why this is your one opportunity. Okay, so
I know.
had that.
Trust me, I'm really upset at myself over that. My newest crush though is Nick Bosa. The kid that, the 49ers just picked up in the draft. And let me tell you, if he comes to Vegas and I catch him at Encore Beach Club, it's on and cracking. Kid better watch out.
I had a couple situations like that. One time growing up, I got a chance to meet Robin Givens, who used to date or used to be married. Was she married to Mike Tyson? I don't know if they were married or not. But
I don't even know who that is.
Anyway.
Robin Givens, I think they were briefly.
She was a crush of mine growing up. And then the last, 15, 20 years of my life, it would be Emmanuel Sharik, who is Sloan in Entourage. And I got a chance to meet her, and that was really cool. So it's cool when you meet.
Did you shoot your shot?
No, I do have a good shot in basketball, though. That shot I'm very good at. The other shot, I'm not so sure what you're talking about. But seriously, I spoke with her. She couldn't have been nicer.
Oh, that's sweet.
And I did do an interview with Sarah Silverman.
Okay.
And she's awesome. And I asked her out on a date on the air, and I actually still have this interview. And she says yes, but then she says, well, I just got to make sure it's okay with my boyfriend. But that was pretty fun. That was cool. But
That's awesome.
When you meet somebody like that, you get starstruck a little bit. Even doing radio for as long as I've done that, you still get that. At least I still do sometimes.
A little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, I've met Mayweather and stuff, and I'm not really starstruck. I met Canelo, and I was a little starstruck when I met him.
He doesn't speak any English, though. What would he say to you?
You know, he can understand English and he can speak it. I think the reason he doesn't is because Mexicans are very, very prideful. And
See,
and
I
then when
think that's a mistake.
No, because then when he's doing interviews for ESPN, they're going to want him speaking English, and I don't think he's that strong.
Bad promotion. I think that's just my opinion. We disagree on this. I think it's really bad when you're making $20-30 million for a fight and you don't speak English after the fight. People want to interview you to promote.
His fans are Mexican.
It's not
all of them.
Great promotion, but it is intelligent to keep his fan base base.
For sure. And he's making stupid money and living in Mexico.
Through DAZN.
He is making a lot of money. All right, so I want to, before we let you go here, I want to give you the opportunity to plug whatever stuff you're. You shouldn't ask that to a porn star and use the word plug. I apologize. Give out your Instagram, social media, all that stuff. Let's hear it. What are you working on?
Okay, I'm currently on the MILF College Invasion Tour. I was actually just here in Vegas.
For a tour.
I know. I'm like scouting out 20-year-olds. That's what I was
Wait,
checking out.
say that?
Is there hip hop artists? Is there bands at all? Or is it? Explain this tour to us.
No, I am looking for. It's the MILF College Invasion Tour. I'm doing a lot of fun cities all over the country and. Yeah,
I'm in the middle-aged, bald Jewish radio talk show host tour.
Oh Lord Jesus!
That's my tour.
So is
you ain't getting near me at all.
Is it just you, or is it a group of women who go to these schools?
It's just myself. I don't get to go to the schools, unfortunately.
Okay.
I did make my way to a campus somewhere here in Las Vegas. I can't say which one, but
well, I tell you what I want to do.
Say it was CSN. I'm going to say it was CSN.
I'm going to tell you what I want to do. Okay. During the NFL season, we'd love to have you back on. We want to talk a little Giants football with you.
Oh, I will go.
I'm sure the team is going to be fantastic.
You said you bet. Where do you bet? What sports book do you bet
It usually depends. Sometimes if I'm like out having a fun night with the girls, I usually end up at South Point.
That's a cool place.
I like,
I thought you were going to say Joker's Wild on the Boulder Highway. That's what I thought.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
Okay.
No, when fans ask me where I live in Vegas, I tell them I live in Boulder.
Jerry's Nugget.
Yeah, I thought downtown Palomino.
She's a staple at Jerry's Nugget.
Well, I definitely want you to come back on with us if you would like to. And,
I would love to talk Giants football with you.
We had some fun today. Well, listen, Richelle, I appreciate you coming on the show.
You didn't even let me plug my stuff.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. JD interrupted you. It wasn't my fault.
It's okay. Twitter at Richelle Ryan, and then Instagram only Richelle Ryan, and both of them are verified, and don't believe any other fakes.
You have
Look
a
for the
lot of
blue check
followers,
mark.
too.
I do.
You are popular on
you
social
show
media.
your booty on the internet, and then you'll get those followers up.
Oh, really? Is that how it works?
It's okay. We'll take a picture, and I'll plug you in.
We'll lose. I like how that sounds. We'll lose all the followers if I'm doing that. Trust me.
We'll have negative followers.
Yeah.
That's even possible.
We probably
But
will.
no, she has 2.6 million followers between Twitter
No.
and Instagram.
Well, listen, I find what you do fascinating. I
Thank
do.
you.
And keep up the good work, so to speak.
Thank you.
And we'll love to have you on again sometime. Richelle Ryan,
Love
thank
to.
you so much for joining us. We
Thank
appreciate
you for
it.
having
thanks
me.
a lot,
All right.
Richelle.
We will take a quick break, and when we come back, Mike Babcock from TMZ Sports will be joining us next. What a name, by the way, when you transition from an adult film star and then introduce Mike Babcock. It's a great name. Anyway, we'll take a quick break. He'll be back right after this with Mike from TMZ Sports. We're coming right back here on the Vegas Take on the all-new 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDWN.
This is the Vegas Take with Sharp and Shapiro.
Come on, guys!